So yesterday what we covered. So yesterday we covered till we creating a simple calculation view. Okay. So what we did here we created one projection. In that projection we brought whatever table we created JSS and we did reporting created one calculation view on top of this table. Okay, now and we see data preview and it's working as expected by we activated and did data preview. So now we are going to learn the remaining concepts in the calculation view. So remaining concepts means when we creating a calculation view on the node section, we can see different things, right? Here rank, aggregation, projection, union, join. So what now we need to learn about in detail about each node. So projection also what we learned yesterday is just simple bringing data into the table into this projection, right? Apart from it, we can do many things in the projection. That all we are going to learn today. Okay. So from where I need to start? So let me, okay, 1 second. What I'm doing is in my projection one. So I am removing all my columns one more time. Right click. I'm selecting all, removing all columns. Okay. So let's say like it is a simple just projection. I brought table into the projection. Okay. Now I'm selecting all columns from this one. Okay. So in the aggregation node also, I'm bringing all to output. Okay. Now what we are going to learn is, so when I activate this calculation view and I do data preview, now I can see all data coming in from the source into my target. But what happens maybe my requirement is not to see all data. I want to see only M1 data. Okay. I want to see only M1 data in my output. It means what I need to do, I need to restrict this projection with only M1 material information. Okay. How to provide filter at projection level, that concept we are going to learn. So now this is the material information. I want to provide filter on this material. So right click on material, apply filter equal to M1. So if I give this lay, you see now there is a filter symbol coming on the material field. Okay. Now activate this one. And in order to see the log, since we minimized it, we need to click on this, on the right side, one bar is there, right? On that one, this is job log. I need to click on it. So it was completed successfully. Now let me go to data preview. Raw data. Now you see only M1 data is coming from my table. So how I achieved it? By applying a filter on the material, I applied this one. Okay. But what kind of filter it is? It is a hard code filter. It means hard coded. It means I cannot change this data. Every time when I execute this calculation view, I can see only M1 data. So I don't have any leverage to change this filter from M1 to M2. Okay, that's what we need to understand here. We call this filter as a hard coded filter. So I applied this filter, right? I want to see what filter I applied here. So if you put your cursor here, double click on this expression, now you see when I apply filter on the graphical way, SAP updated this filter expression automatically, by giving material is equal to M1. Here the material is nothing but the column name, M1 is the value what it is, and that to the equal to operator is means a single value. Okay. For example, I want to apply filter on multiple single values. How to do this? Go to edit filter. Instead of equal to, we have many other options. Not equal to, between, list of values, whatever, selection filter type of operator you want. Now you can give those operators. Now I want multiple single values. So how to provide filter on multiple single values? Here I need to select list of values and then go to this value help. Now select the multiple columns by pressing the control button. So I pressed 2 control button and selected M2 also. Then now you see M1 comma M2. It means now the filter is going to apply for the M1 and M2 materials. So now if I go and execute my CV, see this is my earlier output. I am refreshing my output. Now you see M1 and M2 both the output I can see it on the screen. So why I'm getting M1, M2? Because now I updated my filter with multiple single values. Now let's see how SAP updated my filter expression when I give multiple single values. When I'm giving multiple single values, see the expression was changed. Earlier it is material is equal to M1. Now it is in operator. In operator is for multiple single values. So when you want to apply multiple single values filter on any column, you need to write expression in this way. In operator followed by the column name, comma, and what values you want to allow for this in material. Okay, so that is how it is. So here it is the way how you graphically applying the filter. Okay. Now in the filter expression, we have one edit button. Okay. For example, if you click on the edit button, if you in order to add some more filter here, then what it is saying, filters can only now be maintained as an expression. So what it means is we have two options. Either we can apply the filter graphical way by right clicking on it, taking system help, or you can write this filter expression on your own. Okay, because since people knows how to write little bit SQL and all, now we can write our expression also manually. Okay, for example, I'm removing it. I want to apply equal to operator only M1. Now double click on the material. System will give the material in proper way. Equal to whatever I'm giving the filter value, I need to give M1 on the single quotes. Okay, here we don't have any check option. Okay, we cannot verify whether the expression what we written is correct or not. So we need to click on OK and then activate it. While activation, system will check the syntax and everything. If it is okay, then the activation will happen properly. Okay, now I'm executing my CV. See, the same M1 expression came. So when I applied this filter manually, then what is the edit filter expression? You see, I cannot apply again one more filter in graphical way. See, the filter expression is not coming when I right click on any column. Why? Because a filter expression can be done either graphically or expression or via expression, but you cannot use both options at a single point of time. Okay, that is one point. So if you want to apply any further filters, you have to write R condition, something like that. Okay. So how to write in operator? So in bracket open, select the column name, material, comma, provided within single quotes, provide the list of values you want to allow for this one. So this time I'm allowing M1 and M3 only in material. Okay, select OK. So how many multiple single values you want to give, you can give those many there. Okay, activated, go here, click on refresh. Now you see M1 and M3 are coming here. So now what we learned so far is how to provide filter in projection. That's what we learned here. So next, so in the projection, if you see the output tab, you have column section, calculated columns, input parameters, filters. So we know what is column section. The fields which we have selected on the on from the table, all those will be appear on the column section. Now we are going to learn about calculated columns. Okay, what is a calculated column? So for example, before going to learn this calculated column, I am doing data preview one more time on my CV to see what was the existing data. So my existing data, it contains almost 6 records where I can see quantity as 100, 150. Okay. Now I am going to create one calculate column. So let's right click here, create new. So what is the use of calculate column? On the calculate column, I can derive new columns. I can create new columns with my own business logic, whatever logic. So for example, I'm showing one example here. So quantity by 10. Okay, quantity by 10. So now this is what is this field? It is a key figure because I am working on quantity. So I am going to give it as a key figure. So key figure means it's a decimal. Okay, decimal 17. Let's say that it's a 3 is a decimal places. Length is 17, decimal is 3. Now what is my requirement? I want to do quantity divided by 10. So select the double click on the quantity. It will come here. Use the operator by and then press and then type 10 here. Okay. For the calculated columns, you have a valid syntax option. So whatever syntax you written here, you can verify it valid syntax. Okay, click on OK and then activate it. So you created a new column on the projection level. Okay, so if new column is created on projection level, it will be appear on the top node aggregation, but it is not yet exposed to the output. So you need to enable that column. If you want to see this column on the calculation output, you need to enable it. Okay, till semantic level. So now on the semantics, now I can see it. You see again the data type one is missing. So you can use auto select, or you can select this data type manually and then activate the CV. Okay, see now we changed the structure of the table. Okay, in this scenario, whatever output we are already seeing here on the right side, if you refresh it, yeah, okay, it is coming here. But sometimes what will happen is if you change the structure of the CV, the earlier output what you see may not work properly. Okay, always you need to go for a fresh data preview. Okay, system may not synchronize with the data preview of old one and new one. So you need to close the old one and you need to go for a new data preview. Okay, now if we can see here, whatever quantity is there, it is divided by 10. We can see those values here. Clear? So next. So in this way, we can create a calculate columns. So now with the example, what I taken is now on key figure. Now let's take only one characteristic. So in this particular expression tab on the calculate columns, we can derive simple to complex logics also. Okay, SAP is giving so many functions to derive different values here. So some of the functions are string functions. Okay, convert functions. So many are there. Okay, so what is it? For example, here you can do some hard coding also. Let's take let's for example take currency. Price. Let's take some field called price. I'm taking this one also as a key figure, like as an integer. I'm giving some 150 as a price. Okay, since it is a integer, I'm not giving the value in the single quotes. Only characteristics strings has to be provided within single quotes. Numbers can be given without any quotes. So I given price here. I'm exposing it to here. Okay, and here autoclick activate data preview. You see, it's a hard-coded value. So what we are learning not in when we create a calculated column, we are not only applying expressions. If you want something to hard code in the column, you can do those hard coding also. Now I'm going to create one more column where I'm going to work it on the string functions. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is before going to create let's see what is there. M1 is there material. Okay, let's go here. Cal day is there. From cal day, I want to derive month. Okay. So so I'm going to give here cal month. So our year, let's take year. Second. Let's take year column. Let's derive year column. So year column means its length is 4. Okay. So from where I can derive year, since I have cal day here, I want to derive the year from here. Okay. Na? Before writing expression, just I want to check the data preview, how it is showing. Okay, fine. Yeah. So how to derive year? So I in general, when we are loading data in SAP BW, we know the standard format of date is YYYY DD, correct? So year means first 4 characters. So how to get first 4 characters? Go to string function. In the string, left operator will be there, left string. So here I need to pass string argument. So this left string is a function used to get the left string of a, for example, here this is my string. If I want to get first 4 characters from this string, so then how I define is left string, here the string, whatever string I want to use, and then here number of characters you want to read from this string, 4 characters. Validate syntax. It is not accepting. Why? Because this is whatever function I am using is a string function, but whatever column I am using to get my information is not a string data type. Okay, cal day is of type date, not a string. That's why I'm getting this error message. So what I need to do, first I have to convert this cal day means a date field into string field. So how can I do it? SAP is providing some conversion functions. Here I need to use string function to convert this into date into string. is a string argument. So I'm first what I have to do, I need to convert cal day into string. So now this will become simple string. On this string, now I can apply the string of functions called left string. Now validate syntax. Okay, now it is giving correctly. Now I'm clicking on OK. Now right click here, propagate to semantics will be there. Okay, since it is only one layer, it is not giving it. And then activate it. See data preview, raw data. Where is this year? You see year is there, 2021. So from this cal day, it is giving the year information. Okay, since I given first 4 characters, it is reading the first 4 characters. Now what I am going to do is in my formula, instead of 4 characters, let me give 5 characters or 6 characters. Okay, let me give 6 characters to see. And since I am giving 6, I want to change my year length also to 6 because it won't show if I given 4. Activate. So there is a reason why I'm doing it. So why means if I refresh my output, you see here, if I take 2 more extra characters, generally in SAP BW, after year, it is followed by month information. But here, it is not immediately followed by month. Okay. Okay. So y colon dash dash dd. This was the format what SAP stores data in HANA database. Okay, in SAP BW, the date format, default format is YYYYMMDD, but in HANA database, the date stores in this format YYYY hyphen MM hyphen DD. Okay, so now in order to get the month information, so what I need to do, I need to, instead of going from fifth character, I need to go from 6th character. Okay, remember always 6th character. So yeah, let's see how we can get the month information from here. That's the reason I given here 6 to show how SAP exactly storing the information of date here. So I'm reverting back my year to properly four length, activating it. Okay, now I got month information, right? Now I want to derive day information. So year information is completed. Now I want to derive day information. Okay, I went to day and where day means I want to get the last 2 characters from the string. So for last 2 characters, so what is the string operator we are going to use? Earlier I'm using left string operator. There is a right string operator also available. Now we can use that right string. You see right string. So first right string. Here I need to pass the string argument. So string type, but if date is a type of date type, cal day is a date type. So I need to convert to string operator, string of cal day, and then number of characters, 2 characters. Okay. See, and now generally at aggregation level, this field will be exposed, but it is not checked. Okay. Now there is one more option from projection 1. Right click on this column, propagate to semantics. If you say this one, then what will happen is you see already it is highlighted in the aggregation and in semantic level also automatically the data type was taken. So by using this propagate to semantics, automatically it will be moved from the whatever level you selected till to the semantic level. Okay, activate. You can see this example in later examples also. Now let me go for data preview. Now raw data. Now we see day. Day is coming as 01. So everywhere it is January, February, right? That's why it is giving January and like this. Okay. Now let me close this data previews. Now we seen how to use left string operator, right string operator, right? Now we are going to see. Let me go to filter expression and remove this filter from here. I don't want to keep filter anymore. Now let me go to projection. So day and year is completed. Now I want to bring the month information. In order to bring the month information, I need to bring data from the middle of the string. Correct. So that for that 2 is the length. There is one more function given by SAP. What was the function? Mid string. When I am using mid string, here I need to tell from which character I want to read and till how many characters I want to read. So I want to read month information from almost 4, 5, 6th character till 2 characters. So mid string accepts two numbers. One is the starting position and then number of characters. So delete this string argument, go to string function, conversion functions, string, the argument place, here calde, and then starting position 6, comma 2. Okay, valid syntax. Okay, okay. So this also propagate to semantics. Okay, activate. Now go for data preview. Now month. Now let's see the month 010101. Wherever we have February, I can see 2, and wherever we have March, I can see 3. You see, now I have the year, day, month. So now what we learned, how to create a calculator column and how to apply functions like predefined SAP provided functions as per our requirement we learned so far. Okay. So not only string function, like we what we are using is very less. Okay. We have many other functions too. Okay. On string functions, mid string, mostly, these functions we mostly use in our day-to-day life. Okay, when working on this one, you see there is a function called uppercase, for example, and lowercase. So let's see this example also, how I can apply. So whatever material group I am seeing, those are currently coming in capital letters. So I want to see this material column in small letters. Okay, so let me create one more column. Just this is the last example. Material lowercase. Okay, so varchar length 18. Now go here. If you know what is this lower, you can search also like this and provide your string, whatever string you want to give material. So click on validate syntax. Okay, okay. Right click here, propagate to semantics. Okay, activate data preview, raw data. Now we see material, whatever we have in capital letters was converted to small letters. Okay, so like this, we can use SAP provided many other functions too. Till now, what I teach is string functions. You have like date functions also. On date also, you can, to get the information like, weekday, last day. Okay, so but if you want to learn how to give number of arguments and all, no, just press F1 here. Okay, select the one. For example, last day is a 1. I want to know what was the last day function, how it is using and all. So select anything, press F1, you will get this context search. Okay, go to context, go to search option here and give last day, enter. So SAP gives you second. It is not coming. Contents. Search. Expression. Why it is not coming? Generally, it has to come. Generally, it will come whenever if you want to learn anything. No? For example, left string, right? Left str. See string functions. In that I can see here. Or else a date functions. You see date functions. In this, I want to know date functions. Go to date functions. In the date functions, now it is giving all the information about how to use date functions. Maximize this window. Add date and all. Go back one step here. To partial. When I press last date is not coming, but generally it has to come. Okay, to date function and all. But one more important point is if you give last day like this also you can it is giving this also giving some information. Last day is a function where it accepts one argument date. So for example, I go here, I will give cal day here. Okay, and click on OK and click on OK. So let me change it this to last date. Okay, and let me change this to date because last day is a date format, so I can change the date type to date. I'm clicking on OK, activate, execute, data preview. You see, where is last day? One second. So last day is okay. Here, if I go, okay. On this field, this discussion was not changed. Okay, you see, January 1st is the day which I passed. I am getting January 31st. February 1st is the date. Our last day function is giving February 28th. So in this way, you can use, all the functions that are available that is given by SAP. So I cannot cover since all functions in the session. So I can, you have to explore on yourself. And one more thing is, you see, I've changed the description of the last day here, but at the aggregation level, it is still showing as material lowercase. Why? Because it was coming from the old description. So how to change? So below, if you select any column, below you can see the properties of the column. So from here, you can change this material lowercase to last day. Okay. Now you see it was changed. Now if I go to semantics, in semantics also I can see last, activating it, going here, refreshing it, last, I can see here. Okay, so these are the different functions that I can use. Okay, next, so what topic we are going to learn next? Projection, we use seen how to use calculate columns, and the next one is input parameters. So input parameters is also used for the filter expression. Okay, applying filters in the calculation view. So input parameter concept we will learn, yeah, now itself. Actually, I can go for the union aggregation join nodes also. Which one is to cover first? Union aggregation joins. No, these are not too complex to understand. So we need fresh mind to understand these calculate columns, how to use expressions and filter expressions only. That's why I started with this concept. Okay, today. So now let me cover the input parameter concept also now. Okay. So what is input parameter? Input parameters are used to apply filter on the projection. So before covering input parameters, let me cover one more section called variables. Okay. If you click on the semantics tab, you have a tab called parameters or variables. Okay. So what is this in Bex query? Let's compare with BW. In Bex query, in multi-parameter level, you don't have any option like, no, not taking that way. In Bex query, we have a filter section, correct? Where we can create variables. Those variables will be shown in the selection screen when user executes the report. In the same way, in the calculation view, we have this parameter variables section. Here, if we create any variable, create variable, this will become as a filter screen for this calculation view. Okay. Now I am going to create one filter on the material. Okay, material filter. So description is coming automatically. You see on which column you want to apply this material filter. It is asking. So I need to select the column. I'm going to apply in the material column. So this particular, whatever it is variable is a single value or an interval or multiple single values that we can select here. Firstly, let's take it as a single value. Okay, I'm giving single value. I'm clicking on OK. Now what happened? A variable is created. So this variable, if I go to column section, I can see it is clearly applied on my material column. Okay, now let me activate this. Okay. Um, so let me I activate this one, right? I'm going to data preview. See, when I go to data preview, earlier the output is coming directly, but now I got a selection screen, variable and input parameters. Here now I need to pass the selection. Okay, so now I can go for F4 help. Now here F4 help, I can see M1, M2, M3, M4, which are coming from my source. Now I want to select M1. Okay, so material is equal to M1. Since it is single value, I can select only one value here, but the operator is equal to not equal to is both I can have. So M1, clicking on OK. Now what will happen? My output will be equal to only M1 material. Okay, in this way I can able to apply filter on my calculation view. In this way I can able to create multiple variables. For example, I want to create variable on the material group also I can create. And as of now we seen only single value, right? Let's go for multiple entries. Multiple entries means multiple single. Here we need to select single value and then multiple entries. Now combinedly it becomes multiple single values. Okay, now click on OK, activate it. Now let's go for a data preview. If I go for data preview, now see there is a plus icon enabled here. What it means is if I click on this plus symbol, now one more line comes for material. We cannot give all material information on one particular column. We need to pass one by one. So material M1 and M3 I want to see in my output. So that's why two times I added my material column and I'm clicking on OK. Go to raw data. Now you see M1, M3 both come into the output. So in order to get the multiple single value selection, what needs to done? Single value plus multiple entries. Selecting both options, you will get the materials multiple. Now, if you want to get some default value on the screen, then here you need to get either expression or constant you have to write. Okay. So currently I'm not giving any default value. I'm clicking on OK. Okay. So now what is this? What we did is now what we learned so far is we learned how to create a variable to the calculation view. Okay. So this variable acts as a filter to my calculation view. Okay. But in general, this filter, whatever we created, it is on top of the calculation view, which is on top of the calculation view. Okay. Now, if I go to projection, I cannot see these, variables which I created at a projection level, aggregation level. I cannot see these variables because variables can be created only at semantic level and applied on the calculation view at the end. Means after CV output came, these variables are going to apply. Okay. Now one more section is called parameter section. Now it is very important because in every interview, people use it to ask what is the difference between input parameter and the variable. Okay. Variables are created at semantic level, but input parameters are created at a projection level. Okay. If I go to, our node level, not projection. At node level, we will create input parameters. Okay, so in aggregation node also, I have input parameters tab. I can create new. In projection also, I have an input parameters tab. I can create new. So now I'm going to create this one input parameter variable. Now at projection level, right clicking new. So I'm going to create this, for material. Okay, since material there is already one variable now, that's why it is not accepting it. Let me create for material group. Okay, material group. Okay, sorry. Since it is input parameter, let me give IP underscore because this input parameter name is contradicting with the column name. It is giving the error message. Okay, so IP underscore material group is my input parameter name. Okay, so this when creating this input parameter name, it is asking, so actually why you creating this input parameter on what type? Okay, this parameter type is direct on column derived from. If it is on column, then what will happen? It will come in this way. If I selected on column, system will ask me, okay, on your projection, you see under CVGC, under calculation view, under which particular, column you want to apply this input parameter. Now I want to apply it on material group. Okay. And then click on OK, activate. Now, okay. So since I defined this input parameter in variable, now if I go to data preview, it won't come. Okay, because I defined the input parameter variable. Now I am going to aggregation node. See, in aggregation node also, I can see my whatever input parameter created at a projection level. Okay, so input parameter variables have a scope around the CV. Anywhere, if you create wherever you create index within the CV, everywhere in the CV, you can see this input parameter presence. Okay, but variable can be seen only at a semantic level. Okay, and if you see go here at semantic level, you can see the input parameter what you created also. Okay, so we created input parameter, but we need not yet applied that one. So I want to apply the input parameter now. Now go to right click on material group, apply filter. Something wrong here, and generally see. Yeah, okay, fine. So now what I'm going to do, I want to apply this material group on my input parameter material group on my material group field. So what did it? I went to apply filter equal to values. Instead of selecting the value, I want to apply a variable here, right? Input parameter variable. So go to input parameters. Now it will list all the input parameters you are giving here. Select the IT material group, click on OK. Click on OK. Okay. If you want to see how this input parameter was applied on this material group, go to expression tab, and so you can see here material group is equal to, instead of hard coding, now we are giving a variable as a filter. So by using this, what was the ability? I can dynamically apply this input selection on my material group field. I'm activating my calculation view. I'm clicking on data preview. Now see, along with material, now I have material group also. Okay, so now let's say M1 is a material and my material group is MG1. Okay, clicking on OK, it will give the result of M1 with MG1 material group. Where is MG1? MG1 material group. Clear? So I hope so far it is clear. So now we learned how to create an input parameter variable and how to apply it on the column. So now what I'm going to do is let me delete this input parameter variable just for time being. Click on OK, and my expression also I need to delete it. Okay, let me delete from expression also because we applied it on here, and let me activate it one more time. Go to data preview. Okay, so this is now my calculation view contains only variable as a filter expression, no input parameters. Now what I'm going to do is I'm not giving any selection to my variable. I'm clicking on OK. Go to raw data. What happened? You see, all data came because I don't want to provide any filter on the material group. It means I want to see all data. That's why all data came to my output. Okay, so what happened currently? So you need to understand very carefully. Okay, so I created a variable at semantic level on my calculation view, and I am creating applied on the material field. I'm going to data preview. So when the data preview comes, it is asking me, okay, select one material, but my intention is I don't want to provide any filter. So it means I want to see all materials from the CV. If I click on simply OK without providing any filter, system is giving me entire information. Okay. So this is how variable works. But when comes to input parameter variable, it is not like that. If you create input parameter variable, you must pass some selection to it. If you don't wish to pass any selection, then you have to handle it properly in the calculation view so that you can see all data. So that's why when dealing with input parameter variables, you must be very careful. Variables are very easy, like our Bex variables, but input parameter variables, you must deal very carefully in the calculation view. Okay, so now what I did, let me take one more material group example one more time. Okay, IP underscore input parameter underscore for material group. Okay, applying on my column called material group. Okay, selecting OK, and went to material group, apply filter, go here. Instead of fixed, I am going to input parameters, selecting my material group, clicking on OK. Okay, now you can see filter symbol applied on my material group. I am activating it, executing. Okay, so now material group came. If I don't want to provide any filter on material, and input parameter also I'm not providing any filter, I'm clicking on OK. Go to raw data. You see data came, no data came. Why? Because since I didn't pass anything to my input parameter variable, it's completely giving null data. Okay, for example, let's give star, because people use it to give star, it means for all data. Let's try to give star, and you see then also it is not providing any output. Okay, so let's give mg1, middle group 1, which is a valid filter. You see now mg1 data is coming into my output. So input parameter variables, you must pass cell filter a valid filter. It means valid data you have to pass as a filter to the input parameter variables. Okay, so while creating input parameter variables, we can create it in a multiple ways. Either you can create it on a particular column reference, or you can create it on directly also. Okay, so directly it means you need to define the data type of it, length of it manually. Okay, varchar 4. Okay, direct. So because now, because it, since it doesn't know this input parameter is of what type and all, so we can create in when we given say direct option, we need to provide this data type and length as a mandatory columns. So I created my input parameter variable. Okay, still it will works. No, it's not mandatory to always provide column name as a reference. If you create input parameter as a direct field and applied on any particular column, then also this will work out. So now let's key mg1 here to see whether it is working correctly or not. You see it's working. Okay, so now next point what we are going to learn is how to create multiple single values input parameter variable. So when you select this multiple entries in the input parameter definition, if you select this checkbox multiple entries, then what system consider as it has a multiple single values. Okay, activate. If it is multiple single values, then what you need to do in the selection, in the filter selection, it is not equal to list of values. Okay, it is, remember, we need to change the expression from equal to list of values because it is a multiple single values. Now go to data preview. Okay, now click on plus symbol, but select this one, click on plus symbol. Oh, okay. This won't come in this way, I think. 1 minute. Here mg1, mg2. Let me see if it is fetching information correctly or not. Oh, it won't fetch information. Okay. It is a bit tricky. Okay, working with multiple single values on input parameter variable is not so easy. Okay, it is a little bit tricky to get information from this, really very tricky. mg1. Let me try one. It's not coming, right? Okay. Okay, we'll see this later. But multiple passing multiple single values can be done only at PEX query level. Here, passing expression is a little bit tricky. Oh, wait. Middle group is null, right? Look at this one, plus symbol. Let me remove variable from here, and then let's go for plus symbol. Maybe because of variable, I'm not able to. Let me activate it. Execute. And you see, because when I'm clicking on plus symbol, it is taking the material information. Now it is fine. Now go here mg1, but no problem. You can remember always users are not coming to HANA Studio to give this input like this and doing it. Okay, generally this kind of operations will be done at AO level. Okay, just for our testing purpose we do from here, but users will always now you see mg1 mg2 is coming. So just like how we use for plus symbol for variable, in the same way we are going to use plus symbol for input parameter also when it is for multiple single values. Okay, so still the concept is not done. Okay, still there is lot to more learn about the input parameter. Okay, so now what will happen when you select input parameter variable as a filter to your any variable? Okay, any variable, you must always pass some selection or else it won't bring any data. Okay, it is mandatory. But when how to get all data? If you use input parameter variable, how to get all data uh, without passing any information into this material group? Okay, this one. So there is a trick to get this information. Not a trick, it is there is a process, I can say. Okay, so how to do is in the filter expression, now you need to go for a manual expression, not graphical expression. You need to write expression in a manual way, and before writing it in the input parameter variable, you need to define a constant. Maybe everyone won't show this example, since I practically faced the problem, this kind of issues, so I know how to define it, so I'm giving it to you. Okay, now listen carefully this one. So my intention is I want to create a input parameter variable where it fetches multiple entries. Okay, but user wants this particular input parameter variable as a optional variable. Means sometimes he doesn't like to always send value to this particular variable. Okay, input parameter variable. So in these scenarios, what you need to do is you need to define this input parameter variable with a default value constant as a star. Okay, click on OK. It means by giving star, you don't feel like, okay, I given star, so it will fetch data. Okay, if you give star na input parameter variable doesn't fetch any, a CV doesn't give any information. There is still something you need to do. Okay, in the filter expression, what you need to do is you need to use some expression called R operator. Okay, so this expression in material group input parameter variable, this particular string is now fetching information for multiple single values. If R in input parameter variable, comma, star. Okay, so first of all, try to understand what is this expression is, then you can able to easily understand what is this. Okay, so when system is trying to execute this calculation view, okay, this particular projection is getting information of, for example, 10 records. In the 10 records I have material group 1, material group 2, material group 3. Okay, so now this expression is going to apply each row in my table. My JSLs is a table where it contains 10 records. Let's say 3 records contains material group 1, 4 records. Let's say 4 records are from material group 1, 4 records are from material group 2, and 2 records are from material group 3. Now what it is going to do is, for each record, system is going to validate this expression. Whichever records satisfies this particular expression, those only will come to the next layer. So for example, first I am giving my input parameter as mg1. It means only first 4 rows satisfies this expression. Those will be moved to the next level, and remaining the 6 one doesn't uh, match this condition. Those will be removed from filtered out from the output. Okay, now if I give multiple single values, then what will happen? mg1 mg2, I given two single values here. In this case, system will check each row whether this is contains either mg1 or mg2. Since first 8 rows satisfies this condition, 8 rows will be moved to the output and 2 rows will be filtered out because mg3 was not available in my input parameter section. Clear so far? Okay. So now what will happen? Remaining 2 row. Now what is my intention? I want all the records to be moved into the output section if I don't provide any selection on this input parameter variable. Okay. So now let's see how this condition will work. Now here I given two conditions. Okay, let me go here. Now go to start menu, go to Excel sheet, open to understand this example clearly. Okay. This is important to understand because in real time also, if you have any, doing data validation, you need to understand each record, which record is, if you to understand why a record is not coming to the output, you need to validate the filter expression and understand, is it causing any problem at this level. Okay. Now my intention is, now what I'm going to do is on the constant, okay, on my field, I'm giving like this, clicking on OK, activating it. First I will show you whether how this is working. Then I'm giving star, I'm clicking on OK, I'm going to raw data, gone, filter expression is wrong, in parameter or in IP parameter variable, one more bracket is missing here. Okay, activate, execute. Okay, raw data. Yeah, now you see, even though at input parameter level, I am passing as a star, still I am able to see all data. Earlier, same thing I passed, I didn't get any data as an output. Now I am getting it. Why I am getting it now? Because my filter expression this time is working, is allowing each record, even though I passing star. So how it is allowing? So for example, let's say first record. Okay, let's take first record. Here, what is this? Middle group is 1. Okay, na? So now the first expression, it is checking here on my middle group, I given star, and in my, so let's take like this. This is my middle group column and this is my input parameter variable column. Okay. So in my middle group column, I have mg1. In my middle group column, I have star. So is this matching? Is the middle group one matching to star? It's a false. Okay. Let's take this condition as a false. It means system has to stop this record moving to the output. But what happened? There is one more condition followed by, what is that condition? R condition. So R means if both are false, then only the output is false. So let's take condition A, condition B, and this is result. Okay. So if both conditions are false, then only false. If any one condition is true, then the result is true. Okay. So now in this here we have two conditions with R operator. So the first condition is false. But when coming to second condition, here it is checking with the input parameter star. So star is in star. So both are equal, right? So this condition always true. That's why it is fetching all information. Okay. That's why it is fetching all information from the table. Now what will happen if I giving mg1? Click on OK. You see, if I am giving mg1, only mg1 is coming here. It's not fetching all data. So when I am giving single selection, it is working. When I am giving multiple selection, let's see, mg1, mg3, I'm giving here, clicking on OK. You see, only mg1, mg3 is coming, mg2 is not coming. If I remove everything, you see all are coming, mg3 also coming, mg2 is there, mg1 is there. So how it is working? So it is very important to understand how system is how system accepting my input parameter variable. So the whatever constant I defined in my input parameter variable, this will be not here. This constant will be considered only if I am not giving anything in my input parameter variable. It means If I don't give anything on my input parameter variable, then it considers as a star. If I am giving mg1, it will take mg1 only. So it will check my mg1 matching with mg1 or not, it will give. So when I'm giving some input parameter variable mg1, then it won't keep star as a further selection here. Okay, when I'm giving mg1 comma mg2, it will take these two only. It won't consider star as a input. That constant will be selected, will be taken as an input only if I am not giving anything to my input parameter variable. Okay, so maybe it is little bit tricky and difficult to understand, but it is very important concept. Okay, in real time you may need this kind of scenarios when you're designing calculation views, so it is very helpful. Okay, not everybody can able to not able to means like not everybody will teach this concept. Okay, it is a real time experience. So now we learned about how to apply input parameter variables on the filter expression. But first of all, the basic concept. What is the difference between variable and the input parameter variable? Variable can be applied at semantic level. Input parameter can be applied at a node level. That is only the difference. No. Okay. Na? There is one more difference is there. Okay. By using input parameter variables, we can restrict the data at a base level. This is the main point you need to tell in the interviews. Okay. If you're going for interview, if anyone asks what is the difference between input parameter and variable, you must say confidently that input parameter variables can be applied at a base level. Can be means it can be applied at different levels also. Okay, so that's why it can be applied at base level to filter the data at a base level itself. Okay, it means, for example, I have 5 years data in my database. Okay, but user wants to see data at month level. It means at any point of time he wants to see 1 month information. So for this, I need to bring 5 years data into the report output and then filter for 1 month, which will take a lot of time, correct? So such kind of month filters you can directly push to the base level. If you apply this month filter at like by using input parameter variable, if you apply that month filter on the base level, automate this selection, whatever data you get into your calculation view will be less, and the calculation view performance will be better when compared to earlier. Okay, so input parameter variables are used to improve the performance of the calculation view at runtime. Okay, by applying restrictions at base level. This is what you need to tell. Clear? So this is the concept of input parameter variable. So input parameter variable. So you can how you are using variable in the same way you can use input parameter variable too. Okay, you can apply string functions on the input parameter variable. You can apply date functions. Everything you can use on the input parameter variable too. Okay, whatever value you are getting here. Next, yes,
Srinivas, I have a small doubt here.
yes.
In this table will have more than 5,000 rows
Mm,
data,
mm.
but here we can see up to 5,000 records on the right.
Yes.
So how we can manage that the extra records which are above the 5,000 records?
So here you cannot manage it because SAP HANA Studio data preview can only allow till 5,000 rows. Okay, but
Okay.
because it's a data preview option, you can able to fetch only 5,000 records. But there is a place where you can improve your number. You need to go for a HANA SQL. Okay, I will teach you this. Okay, but there is a called one SQL console. Okay, we need to go for SQL console. Hmm?
Okay.
And you see, when you go to data preview, what SAP is doing in the backend, it is doing a select statement. It is writing a select statement on your SQL. Okay. At the end, system transfers your calculation view into a select statement. Okay. So
Okay.
that statement will be executed on your calculation view when you go for a data preview, and it is fetching the information. So where you can see that whatever we can see by going to show log, we can see what SAP is generating it. You see, select top 200 since I given 200 from material table. Okay, where condition also you can see group by sales because and everything. Where is input parameter variable? It is applying some, I have input parameter variable, right? This is the input parameter variable it is applying. So copy this, close this, go to console, go here, paste this one, remove this generate SQL one. So now it is a select statement. Now execute here. Now you have 200 records here. So now instead of 2000, let's take 5,000, 10,000, like remove top 200. If you do this, then it will show all data from your table. But this also limits to 5,000 only. Remember, this also limits to 5,000 only. You need to change this setting from properties somewhere. I don't remember exactly where it is, but we can change this one from here. No properties for console, not proper console, maybe. Okay, select this database. Maybe then go to properties. Properties. Here you go to go to database, JDBC, yes, and sensors. Somewhere we have this properties option. Yes. Windows, Windows preferences, not from properties. Go to window, go to preferences on SAP HANA, on SAP HANA, not language, general, something will be there. Modeler, on modeler, default model parameters. Say data preview. Data preview was given 5,000 recommended, no limit. With you see, if you given no limit, it will give all data.
Yeah,
Okay, but
got.
you can see, you can change this one number 5,000 to a different number. So if I click on modeler, decision market contour, data preview, there is an option to give.
Those who are comfort in SQL, they have a complete idea about this HANA DB, I think.
No. Having see, knowing about options is different. Having knowledge on SQL is different. Mm, Everything, yeah, threshold value for rows in a table. So I think here we need to change this one. I can tell this one later also. In
Yeah.
SQL, you see here you need to change. So
Once I get
on the
access, once I get access, then I will show you
yes.
the real time.
Yeah, no problem. Go to SAP HANA, go to runtime on the SQL. Here you can, on the result also you can change it. Maximum number of rows displayed in a result. It is 1,000, okay, for you know. So you can change it to 10,000, then you can see 10,000 records also. Okay, here.
Yeah.
So here we have. So here you need to change different options. Where can so now so far what we learned is how to create a calculation view, how to create a input parameter variable, how to apply it on our columns, how to create a variables and how to apply it on columns we learned. Okay, how to create calculation views, calculate columns also we learned. Okay, now the pending topic on the calculation view is how to use aggregation, projection, union, join. Okay, projection I already shown you, and now the leftover part is rank, aggregation, union, and join. Okay, it's already 8:21. Okay, it's already 1 hour gone. So shall I continue with the rest of these things, or you want to continue tomorrow on this part? Hmm.
Better we will go for tomorrow.
Yeah. Yes,
No,
Srinivas garu.
yeah, then fine. Let me stop recording.